Hello, welcome to CP Redefined. My, my name is Tatikwa Peterson. I was born with cerebral palsy. I am a graduate of USF of the University of South Florida. I graduated with a master's degree in computer science. I'm the author of several books which you can find on Amazon.com and also on my website, HiddenTreasuresMinistries.com. I am a public speaker at many churches, conferences, and schools. I am the founder and president of Hidden Treasures Ministries, which is based on 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7, which says that we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency may be of God and not of us. Again, our website is HiddenTreasuresMinistries.com. We do many events to reach out to people with disabilities and to encourage them in their gifts and their callings from God. Let's go into the introduction of Hidden Treasures Ministry and CP Redefined. In this workshop, we are redefining CP according to the Word of God. In this workshop, we will find out the plans that God had for us before we were born, basically before conception, before we had the challenges of life, and before we were diagnosed with RCP. God had a plan for us. He had a purpose for us. And so through this workshop, we'll learn that. In Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, it says, "For I know the thoughts that I have for you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope." So God has a good plan for us, a plan of peace and not to harm us. Our CPs are cerebral palsy, and whatever our CP may be, it's not to tear us down, but it's something that He can use for His glory and for His honor. So some introductory concepts is that we were carefully put together in the womb by God. He carefully formed us. Every part of our lives were fully formed by His hand. He had a plan before we were born, and since He planned before we were born, those plans have not changed. But He will perform His good work and His good promises in our lives. That's His promise for us. Not only that He has planned for us, but He chose us. He chose us before the foundation of the world. Before he made the world, he chose us, and he said that he chose us, that we should do good works, that we would be holy and without blame before him in love. The definition of redefined, because we have CP redefined. So now let's look at the definition of redefined. Redefined means to be made new, to give it a new meaning. So we're taking CP and we're giving it a new meaning. And it also means to consider, to bring change, or to make new. I like Isaiah 43, verse 19. It says, "Behold, I will do a new thing." This is what God says for us, that he will do a new thing, and it will spring forth, and that we will know it. We will see it. We will experience the new thing that he will do in our lives. So as we are taking CP and we're redefining it, we will discover that the new meanings of CP are called within purpose, chosen priests, chain producers, called up proclaimers, creative producers, change the world through prayer, and changing perception. As you can see, each phrase here, the first word begins with a C, and the last word ends with a P, so therefore we are redefining CP. So now let's look at call with call with purpose. Our, our verse for call within purpose is Romans 8:28, which says, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose." So God is saying that he will cause everything, even the hard things, even the things like CP, cerebral palsy, or maybe you're a caregiver trying to care for someone, and it's hard as a parent, as a caregiver, day in, day out. God says that he will make all things work together for our good. The definition for called with purpose. The word called means to be asked for or requested by name. So if you call someone to get their attention, you call them by their name. So we have been called by our name, by God. Purpose is a sentence for something specific. So if you have a purpose for something, you have a specific reason for that thing. Now let's look more into being called. We were called before we were born by God. Our calling is a holy thing, and it's holy, and it sets us apart. We've been set apart by God for a purpose, and that's what we're going to discover. We've been called by our name. Each person has a specific calling, a specific reason why we were born, and a specific reason why we must walk in life's purposes and life's destiny. Now let's look at the word purpose. The word purpose means that in order to walk in purpose, we must rely fully on God in order to fulfill our purpose. Zechariah chapter 4 verse 6 says, "So he answered and said to me, this is the word of the Lord to Zerubbabel, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord of hosts," which means that we must rely on God in order to fulfill our purpose. We can't do it on our own. We must have His help. We must have His strength because it is His purpose. And then there's a specific person for each person who's alive. I don't care who you are. God has a specific purpose just for you. And He will empower you and give you strength to fulfill His purpose. We are called according to His purpose. So God uses each situation that we go to lead us through to our purpose. So everything that we face, God uses that to lead us more and more into our purpose. Purpose will also be a motivating factor in days when you don't feel good, when you don't want to keep going, where things seem so hard and difficult. If you have a purpose that will keep you motivated and strengthened to keep going, even when it's not easy. Now let's look at our example for someone that's being called by, by God for a purpose. Jeremiah, he was a young man. He was young, but he was called by God to do a work. And so when God first called Jeremiah, Jeremiah said, "God, I'm too young to do what you called me to do." But God says, "Don't say you're too young, because I caught you before you were in your mother's womb. So you're able to do everything I caught you to do." And that's the same thing for our lives. We may feel inadequate because of age, because of disability, because of the things that we must face, but we are able to do it because of God's hand on our lives. And each person has God's hand. Each person has God's calling that He made before we were born. And because of that, we can do everything that He has called us to do. Once again, Jeremiah was called before he was born, and his calling superseded his age and superseded everything that he faced in the natural. And God wanted Jeremiah to identify himself with what God called him to do, greater than what Jeremiah felt in his own life. Okay, our next word, our next phrase that we're looking at is chosen priest. CP, chosen priest. Our word for chosen priest is, but you shall be called. You shall be named the priest of the Lord. They shall call you the servants of our God. You shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, in their glory shall you boast. So we have been called and named priests of God. We've been called and chosen to be priests of God. And the world will see that as He is glorified through our CP. Chosen priest. Our definition for chosen priest. The word chosen is to be picked out as a favorite. So if you have a bunch of things and you choose one thing, you pick that out from several. So we've been chosen to do what? To be priest, someone who stands in the gap. Let's look at the word chosen some more. There's a verse in the Bible that says, many are called, but few are chosen. Once again, you have many things, but to be picked up specifically by God. We've been picked out to be priests. In order to be chosen, though, our hearts have to be willing and ready. So called and chosen. We're called, but to actually go to the next level, we must get our hearts to be chosen, which is to be picked out to do more. We have to have a willing heart, and we must be willing to be chosen. And God, Jesus chooses us. That's what John chapter 15, verse 16 says. This is Jesus, He says. You did not choose me, so we didn't choose Him. But Jesus chose us and appointed us that we should do what? Bear fruit, and that our fruit shall remain. Our fruit shall be productive. People will see what we do, and it will last in the earth. Priests are people who are set aside. That's why we say we are chosen because we have been set aside to to serve, to help people. That's what priests do. Priests are servants to help people through prayer, by through being that in between person. So we serve and we be that in between person between us and between people and God, and in helping other people. Please, here aren't just those that are in the church, but we are all priests, served, because we're to help people and to support people and to intercede and to pray for people. We are rural. We are called to be a rural people. The priests in the Bible, they walk in royalty. The Bible says that we are a royal priesthood, called to shine forth the light of God to the world. And with that comes great authority, not to be used to lord over people, but to lift people up and to be a support to people. Jesus is the greatest priest ever. He's our high priest and he's our example. And these are things that Jesus did, and we can be like Jesus. Jesus made intercession, which means he prayed. Intercession is just praying for other people. So priests, as high priests, we should pray. We should be holy. We should be harmless. We should be undefiled, and we should be separate from the world. As we try to serve Jesus, we ought to be separate from the world. So, as Jesus is our high priest, we're supposed to do the same towards other people. Now, let's look at our next phrase, which is change producers, CP change producers. Our verse for change producers is to let your speech always be seasoned with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer each one. So, when people come to us and they say, why are you so encouraged? What's the hope in you? We should always be ready to have an answer that will make people thirsty for more, that they would want the same hope that we have. Definition for change producers. The word change is to make different, to bring transformation. The word producer is someone who takes action that brings forth a desired outcome. So as change producers, we want to do things that will bring change in the earth. How people see things, how people view things, how things are done in their world. Change producers. Jesus had changed our lives, So we should work to help change the lives of others. So just as we've been changed by Jesus, as we have found hope, we should help others to find hope that they can also find what we found. Uh, and this is done through our words and our works. So what we do and what we say on what to bring change. We are to be lights in a dark world. We are to bring salt that causes men to thirst for what we have. Going back to the verse that we said before, our words should want people to have what we have. And our lives should bring glory to God. Three areas in which we can bring change is spiritually, that's in God's Word, mainly through educating others, and naturally by bringing changes to laws and policy. Levels in, of, of influence to bring change are in our home, in our neighborhoods, in our churches, in the education system, in entertainment, in business, in government, and even internationally. So we have been empowered to bring change in every one of these areas. Producers. Producers are people of action, and producers are people that do good work. So we should be people that do great exploits. The thing that we do should bring change in the world. And then our good works, we should always look to do something good for our fellow man, for those around. And one person in the Bible who was an excellent change producer was a woman at the well. She had an encounter with Jesus that changed her life. One minute she was a person who went through a lot of men. She had many men, but she met Jesus, and Jesus changed her life. And then immediately she went to tell others what happened to her, and then they wanted to experience the same thing that she experienced. And that's what a change producer does. We want others to experience the hope, the love, the peace that we have, so we change the world so that they can have what we have too. And more. Our next CP is creative producers. Our verse for creative producer is Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 18, which says, "And ye shall remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you power to get wealth, that He may establish His covenant, which He swore to your fathers, as it is this day." So God gives us power or the ability to get well. We are creative producers. We're able to produce things that bring wealth into our hands. Creative is the ability to make something. We all have the ability to make something. A producer is someone who makes things. Creative. How can I say we are all creative? Because God is the creator of heaven and earth. He made all things. Genesis chapter 1 tells us that God created the heavens and the earth. And then he made us in his image and his likeness. So we have the creator as our heavenly Father. So he blesses the works of our hands so that we can create with our hands. He gives us ideas and strategies for making things from writing to poetry to maybe you can sew, maybe you can maybe you can there's a lot of things that can be creative. My mind is going blank, but there's so many things from building to art to writing to just the ideas of our mind. You know, maybe you may not have use of your hands, but in the mind there's an ability to create with ideas and to share the unique ideas with others. That's also creative when you share your ideas. Productivity is to bring forth something unique. It, once again, our hands have been blessed by God, and our hands also include our mind with ideas. So even if your hands may not work, your mind has ideas that makes you productive. There's productivity in you. And it's just a matter of discovering what you've been blessed with by God. Everyone has been blessed with something to bring forth, even if it's love, joy, peace in the lives of others, calling them to laugh. Maybe your productivity is jokes. See, you can tell jokes and make people laugh. That's beneficial. We all need something to laugh at. So you have something to produce that will bring change into others. Someone in the Bible that was an awesome producer. His name was Bezalel. And so his main purpose, he was chosen by God to help in the temple. And he was given understanding, knowledge, wisdom, and, and workmanship to make works of gold and silver and bronze and jewels and carving into all manners of workmanship. So we've all been chosen to produce something. And whatever you're chosen to produce, and in whatever way you do it, it is beneficial and needed by the world. Our next CP is changing the world through prayer. Changing the world through prayer, our scripture is 1 Timothy chapter 2 verses 1 through 2. Therefore, I exhort you first that all supplications, prayers, intercessions, giving and thanks be made for all men, for kings and all who are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceful life in all godliness and reverence. Our definition: change once again is to bring about a shift to a situation. Prayer is talking to God and listening to God. So prayer is communication with God, which could include supplication, which is asking, intercession, which is praying for others, and thanksgiving, which is giving thanks to God. Change. We have been empowered to bring change in the world. We can all bring change in some way. Change must happen in the spirit realm. So since we're talking about prayer, prayer is talking to God. So when we pray, we're bringing change through talking to God, and we who can do all things. And so let's pray, because that's where our focus is. In prayer, we can pray at any time and anywhere, no matter where we're at, we can pray. There's power in prayer. We can be persistent in prayer. God cares about the little things and the big things, so there's nothing too big and there's nothing too small that we can pray about. And prayer can change nation and government. So prayer can change us or our situation, and it can go as wide as changing nation and government. So there's no limit to prayer. We can pray about the smallest thing, or we can pray about the big thing. God cares about it all. And the person in the Bible who prayed, a lot of people pray in the Bible. There's so many stories in the Bible about people who prayed and God answered their prayers, but the person we're going to look at today with is Daniel. Daniel prayed even when his life counted on it. And the Bible said that he prayed 3 times a thing, even when it was illegal, even when it cost him his life, but because he prayed, he was delivered from the lion's den, and the laws of the land were changed because he stood and he preached. So therefore God heard and God changed the very rules that the king had made because Daniel stood in prayer. So our prayer can bring big change in the world, and even when we can't speak, God knows our thoughts, and so prayer is the most powerful thing I know. Now our last CP is changing perception. CP changing perception. And our verse is Psalm chapter 71, verses 6 through 7. But you I have upheld from birth. You are he who took me out of my mother's womb. My praise shall be continued of you. I have become a wonder to me, but you are my strong refuge. So God has kept us from birth, even in all the medical issues that we face, all the hard times, all the times when people said that things are not possible. God kept us through that, so that now people are looking and they're wondering, and so through our lives again, pointing back to Him and change the way that they see situations. Once again, change is the brain transformation. Perception is the way something is seen or thought about. So, how do people see things and how do you think about it? That's what we're changing their changing perception. The brain change that starts with the mind, and it comes through educating others. And many people are educated through our testimony, through our stories of what we overcome that can change the way that they see and can bring education and our gifts and our talents that can bring change to the thing that we have and share. When people see our abilities, that helps to change the way they see us. Perception. Many people may see our CP in a negative way, but our goal is to show them the difference that Jesus can make. They may be seen as one way, but we see ourselves mighty. We see ourselves strong. I like this picture of a cat looking into the mirror. People may see the cat, but actually, the cat sees himself as a lion. I love that. So, the situation that we also walk through is to show others that Jesus is alive and that He makes us straight. More on kingdom perspectives. We are signs and wonders in the earth. What does that mean? That we point the way to Jesus and that we show that He is alive and that our testimony empowers us and empowers others to overcome. And example of someone who changed perspective was David when he faced Goliath. His brothers, three people discounted David. His brothers discounted him. King Saul discounted him. And Goliath discounted him. Goliath was a giant, and David was a young man. And so when David wanted to face Goliath, everyone said, David, you can't take this giant down. But David says, oh yes, I can. And so the name of the Lord, David took the rock, one stone, and hit Goliath and took the Goliath down. And through David's strength and because David stood up to change the way other people saw him, David was taken down and God was glorified through David's story. So, if that's our last CP, thank you for listening to this workshop. And if you're interested in more information about CP Redefined, there's a lot more information to this. I just gave you a semi-quick version of it, but for more information, we're going to have this summer, probably in June, we'll have our CP Redefined study guide, the CP Redefined book, and we will have more online workshops on Zoom where we can have interaction and discussions and share ideas and share points on CP Redefined. Thank you and have a great day.